All right, we have made it to Malchus Gevurah. We are at the 14th day of the Omer. So if you have not counted the Omer yet, you could say that today is the 14th day of the Omer, which is 2 weeks of the Omer. Malchus is a very interesting thing because I always had a really tough time figuring out what Malchus is. They oftentimes translate Malchus as royalty or kingship or nobility. And oftentimes the way I kind of thought of it was, how does your Gevurah make you noble? And I'm like, well, what does noble mean? When I think about noble, I think of noblemen in I don't know, the 1600s of England. And that wasn't really like a way for me to connect to that. So recently, my definition of Malchus and what Malchus is and how Malchus is within myself and how that connects me to Hashem and the world at large really has changed. And when you think of it, Malchus, yes, there's the Malchus of us, but there's the Malchus of Hashem. There's the kingship of Hashem. You know, we say that Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuso Le'olam Va'ed, right? After we say the Shema, we say Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Listen up, Jews. Hashem, our God, Hashem is one. You know, the God that's Hashem, which is the transcendent God. Elokeinu, he is our God. Elokeinu is kind of, Hashem has different names. He has a name that signifies his transcendence, a name that signifies his immanence. So listen up, Jews. Listen up, Jewish people. The transcendent God is also our immanent God. And all of those things are one, meaning the God that is completely beyond my understanding and the God that is within my understanding are actually both one and the same. And then we say, Baruch Shem Kavod, Malchuso Le'olam Va'ed. Blessed, Baruch Shem Kavod, blessed is the name of his honor. Malchus, Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuso, his Malchus, Le'olam Va'ed. His kingship is forever and ever. And really, when we think about that, we think about here and now in this world is where we find Hashem's kingship. We, the Jewish people, but also humanity at large, we manifest Hashem's kingship and his glory here. How do we do that? By following his commandments, not just between the commandments that we have to Hashem, such as, keeping Shabbos or keeping kosher or things like that, but also between us and other people. There's a lot of craziness going on in the world, a lot of disconnect, a lot of fracturing. But when we come together and we honor each other and we honor the divine image in another person and we honor the divine image within ourselves, then we manifest Hashem's kingship and glory. And all of that, by the way, starts with how we view ourselves. Because the only time we're ever going to mistreat other people is if we don't view ourselves in a positive light. Because the root of all fracturing that we see in this world is within us. As the Baal Shem Tov says, the fault you see in your friend is really the fault that's within yourself. But we have self-love, not good self-love, but bad self-love coming from a negative place, negative self-love that covers over and blinds us like the sheep's wool over the, like the covering your eyes. So you don't see your own faults. I don't see my own faults, right? Because I'm concentrated on self-preservation, things like that. So I don't see my issues, I don't see my faults, but they're there. So I see them in the other person, which is why sometimes when you see something in another person that really bothers you, really it's an indication for you to look inwards and see, maybe I have that within myself somewhere. So Malchus is this idea of respecting the divine image within me, respecting the divine image within another person, and it has to be in the here and now. We are oftentimes trapped in the past or worrying about the future. Not very often do we ever just kind of tap into the moment here and now. And the breath that we're using for our toning is the key that opens the gate to the moment, because really all we have is this moment. I was talking about that transcendent God before, Shema Yisrael, Hashem. Really the name is Yud and Hey and Vav and Hey, what we refer to as Havaya or Ado and then Nai, right? So the Yud, the Hey, the Vav, and the Hey, when rearrange those letters, you get Haya, past, Hoveh, present, Yihiyeh, future, Kol Echad, all in one. So really, the past, present, and future, you find that transcendent God, we oftentimes think of it as, he's the master of past, present, and future, so he's above it. But another way to understand it is past, present, and future is all right now. So people say, where is God? God is in this moment right now. Me recording this, you watching this, it's all one and the same. That's Malchus. And that is when we manifest Hashem's kingship. So we think about it. What is Malchus of Gevurah? Well, this idea of Malchus is really, we're getting a little Kabbalistic here, but there's this idea that Malchus is the portal through which all of the upper spheros, all of the upper emanations. We talked about the Chesed, the Gevurah, Tiferes, Netzach, Hod, Yesod. All of that is put into the container of Malchus. Malchus is the dividing wall. So there's this idea that the light of the upper 6 spheros of Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes, Netzach, Hod, Yesod can't shine into this world, or can't shine through us. It's our inner psychological, emotional processes. It has to come through Malchus, almost like, how does the water get into your house? Through all this piping system. And then finally you turn on the faucet, but we don't see all of the inner workings and all the pipes that have to, and not only the pipes, but the larger pipes in the neighborhood and those larger pipes that are in the community and like that go back to the water plant that bring the water. So when you turn on your faucet, then you can brush your teeth, right? So this is this idea of Malchus. Malchus is the separating wall that holds back, the retaining wall that holds back what comes before it, the 6 previous spheros. But also it's through Malchus that those previous 6 can manifest in our life. So really, what is Malchus of Gevurah? This whole long-winded way of saying it. Malchus of Gevurah is, how do I experience Gevurah in the here and now? How do I experience Gevurah in my life? Because this isn't just theoretical. It's not just, hypothetical. We are talking about we have actual chesed that we express. We have actual Gevurah. This is our personality. This is how we, when we withhold back, we're using our power of Gevurah. So that is Malchus. And what is Malchus? Well, I did some research and I was like, what vowel was Malchus? But it seems to me it's very apparent that Malchus is actually no vowel. So the way I interpret that is Malchus is a hum. The hum, pregnant with possibility of everything that could be. When we get to other Malchuses, Malchus of Tiferes, Malchus of Netzach, I'd love to talk more about this idea. But to hopefully not have this video go on for too long, I'm going to get to the meditation. So we have, that's do. Here we have do, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. So ti, that was kind of a high pitch. Let's go. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. This is Malchus. Malchus is ti. Do, re, re is Gevurah. So we have Malchus, Gevurah. So we have it's kind of hard to do, but we could do it. Concentrating on how is Malchus actually in my life. And as these intervals get bigger, you could just do a simple You do this for as many times as you want. This is our final stop for Gevurah. Next is going to be Chesed of Tiferes. So I hope you have an amazing day, and God bless.